Okay, and welcome to a little series I like to call Doing It with Duper. I know it sounds like a porn name, but it's not. Duper was a nickname I had as a child, and since then it's been in every single, gamer tag, PSN account, what have you. It's Steam, you name it. And today we're playing my favorite childhood game, Age of Mythology. This was actually my first ever PC game. And you would think I'd be better at it, but I'm not. I actually kind of suck at it, but hey, it's okay. Let's do Raw. By the power of Raw. I don't know if you guys ever seen that, The Prince of Egypt. It was the movie about Moses when he came out like in the late 90s. It was really good. Like, I grew up in a Christian home and everything was, everything was like religion related, you know? Let's fight against the Norse. Since everything was religion related, I saw a lot of religious movies, and I don't know, too many religious movies, Loki, cool. Too many religious movies don't have good plot, in my opinion. Like, they just awful movies. They don't what's the word I'm looking for? They just got bad plot. They're too message focused, and they put no thought into what the movie, how to reach an audience. Because if the movie's going to be to reach somebody, they're not going to reach the people who already believe, you know? They're trying to reach the non-believers. Now, if you're not worrying, but if you're wondering, like, oh, is he a Christian? Is he gonna say everything, like, relate everything to God? Or maybe you're on the other fence, other side of the fence. Oh, I hope this guy's a Christian. I hope he's a believer. There's not too many Christians out there. Well, I'm half and half. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know, as I've gotten older, I've had my strayaways from the faith. So I'm not a religious person anymore. But on the other hand, I feel there's too many people who are like way too secular, you know? When you say what you want about religion, but it's stabilized the Western Hemisphere for, I don't know. It's stabilized the Western world, in my opinion. It like gave us a sense of like morals, and I know people say, oh, if you need God to be a good person, then you're a lousy person. Well, okay, don't steal, don't rape, don't kill. Yeah, that I'll give you that. That's every culture has come across that, but Christianity in the sense of like sacrifice and self-martyrdom above like all else. Not martyrdom in the sense of like oh, I'm gonna kill myself, but martyrdom in the sense of I am going to stand here and die for what I believe, you know, as as Jesus did. That, I believe, is completely unique to Christendom. And that's just my opinion. There's, I don't know, I can't really, I can't think of another, like, real religion except maybe Judaism. And, oh man, Jews have gotten the short end of the stick by, like, every culture, like, throughout history, man. Honestly. They were conquered by, the Babylonians, they were conquered by the Persians, they were conquered by Babylonians, Persians, the Greeks, then the Romans. What happened after the fall of Rome? Then I think it was the Muslim Caliphate, and then it was I think it was the Ottomans. There was the Crusades in there, and the Christians held it for a little while. I don't know, man. Whoa! There's frickin' guys attacking mine. Back. Come home.
In which
Gonna build up a whole lot of houses right here. They don't cost nothing. That's the amazing thing about the Egyptian faction.
No.
Doesn't cost anything to build houses.
Greek, are you refer? Greek,
Don't die, don't die.
Greek, are you refer? Tayo, are you refer?
In which area you?
And are you refer?
Oh, thank God I did not die.
Greg, you refer.
I got like really scared there. I was gonna lose my priests. Priests are very important because they're heroes, and what they can do is, under the faction of Ra, they can bless things to make increase their speed, building, researching, collecting, you name it. Increases all that shit. So yeah. What was I talking about? I think I was talking about history. Oh, and the Jews and everything. Yeah. I like history, and I like the history of like religions. It's very interesting. No, honestly. I know some people have like some very strong feelings towards religion in like a lot of different aspects. But honestly, if you take time to look at the history of religions, it's very interesting because religions, they evolve, they change. I don't know if evolve's the right word, but they change with time. And like certain beliefs that are very old are they leave, and then certain ideas which are pretty new, they come and go, but there's like some underlying themes across like almost every religion out there. Give an example. With a lot of pagan religions, it was almost universally accepted that the gods were dicks. You know? That I'm gonna build a temple. That the gods were dicks, that they caused like a lot of the problems, right? Whereas like in Judaism, it's like the fallen angels, or it's like man's folly, you know? The Jews were the first ones to kind of put that idea on them. Whereas like the Greeks, Zeus, he couldn't keep it in his pants. He caused most of his problems, you know? Just because he turned into a goose and had to stick it in somebody. We're gonna go with Bass because she has the sacred cats, and that increases food production. And I'm planning on turning to farming. Once I get enough gold, I'm gonna have a huge farming industry. Although reduces the cost. That's for more short term though. That's a more short term benefit. This is more long term, I feel. I'm gonna do that. All the gold. All the gold!
In wedge.
A little hurt. It's okay.
Rig. Ro iya kawit.
In a jirek.
Come on.
No.
I don't know.
Rig.
I don't want to really ramble too much on religion because that can turn off a lot of people, but I really do just love the history of religions. It's very interesting. And however you feel about religion, you can't deny that it's had a major effect on the world. I know there's some people who say all wars were caused by religion, but that's not true. Most wars were caused by resources, because this world that we live in of like just plenty, unless you live I know there's places out there that struggle, and I know that there's people even in America that struggle and don't always have enough to eat. But for the most part, for most part of society, we have more food than we know what to do with. You know, there's just so much food just wasted, you know? Literally, just wasted on nothing. They just get thrown out, you know? I'm sure you've been guilty of that, trying to get some broccoli or something, like, oh, I'm gonna eat healthier, and yeah, that ever happened. Get a couple of barrackses. Build 2 armories. Armories don't cost anything. That's why I love the Egyptian faction, is because everything is like cheap, you know, it just costs a little bit of gold, right? Hardly ever any wood. So that's why I love the Egyptian faction.
Ini no.
Wedge. Entio. Bea.
But anyways, as I was saying, the world that we live in with so much plenty really hasn't existed but in the past 50 years. Even like on the onset of 100 years ago in the early 1900s, there was a lot of people who just didn't have food, you know? And it wasn't until the invention of nitrogen fertilizer did there really become a lot of food for people to eat. An interesting thing about nitrogen fertilizer, actually, the guy who created that also created mustard gas. Was it mustard gas or chlorine gas? I forget what, but he had a lot to do with the Germans in World War One. The Germans in World War One with a lot of like chemical weapons. I think it was mustard gas. I'm like fairly certain. Who am I fighting? Loki? Yeah, let's see what Loki benefits real quick. Loki. Myth units. Ox cards cheaper, faster, weaker, long nose, trained faster. Oh, okay, so I should expect like a lot of guys.
Jirek. Tayo. Ak.
In which Baya.
In wedge.
Let's build another.
In wedge. Entio ak. Gerek tayo. In
6.
In wedge. Gerek.
Let's build another granary right there.
Greek. Tayo.
Let's set the rally point over there.
Gerek, EU refer.
Gerek. Entio. Io refer.
1,
Ak.
2, 3,
Tayo. Io
4,
ier. Tayo.
5,
Tayo.
6. Here we go. But yeah, so that's interesting. The like on the subject of the gas, the person who
Enito.
is responsible for the life of like millions and millions of people helping is also the same guy who is responsible for pretty much their I don't know how many countless
Into
deaths of people with chemical weapons. So I don't know. It's interesting. I just love history. And the nice thing about history is you sound a lot smarter than you really are. I am dead serious on that because there are so many people out there who think, "Oh, you know a lot about history. You must know a lot about everything." What do I want? What do I want? Sekhmet or Hathor. Ooh, both are got the lion goddess and like the cow goddess, heifer goddess. I learned the hard way not to call somebody a heifer. I once called this woman an obnoxious heifer, which she was. She was rude. She was just ugh, like one of those disgusting people. And she was fat. She thought she was all that. And I just said this. I said you're such an obnoxious heifer. And yeah, I learned not to do that. It didn't end out well. Good for me. Sekhmet or Hathor? One, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Alright, Sekhmet. Plus, that just sounds cool. And I guess it was a friend who was right there. Like instantly came up to me and was like trying to fight me or something, and I'm just like, no. I said, and told him to bug off. Not so politely, but yeah, I basically told him to bug off, and he. Yeah, I was actually concerned there. I haven't gotten into a fight since I was like 16, 17 years old, you know. But I was actually kind of concerned there that he was gonna legitimately swing at me or something. I probably would have deserved it. Like if I saw a good friend of mine and somebody called her an obnoxious heifer, I don't blame him for that, but I don't know. I always wonder what you do in situations like that, you know? Well, obviously don't say that. Be more tactful, but seriously though, in all honesty, when somebody is just like completely disrespectful to you time and time again, and you just throw it back at them, do you throw it back at them or don't you? I guess that's what I'm really asking here. Should you go through life and try to be the upright person, or do you instead kind of stoop to their level? Because I know I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, never, don't stoop to their level, because then you're no better than them." Well, if you're just doing it to be better than them, then you're really no better than them, right? So that said, I don't know. I've always wondered that.
Greek. Tayo.
Let's go see if I can build that. Yeah, if you know a clever way, if somebody's like completely rude to you, do you stay? Is it better to stay calm or just dish it back at them? And if you're gonna dish it back at them, how do you do it? I'm very curious. That's not something I've really ever figured out, to be honest with you. Because I've always either just like insulted them like that, you know, like, oh, you obnoxious heifer,
And we
or I've
UIR.
like just either stayed quiet and tried to walk away, which they say is the better thing, but I don't know. Every now and then it feels very rewarding to just kind of give them a dig, you know, just like, oh, you little. But that's just me. What do I know? I'm just some random guy on the internet playing video games. Actually,
Greek. Are you
I'm
refer?
gonna keep my pharaoh here.
UAE. Refer.
Let's build a couple more people. I need more farms.
Gerek.
Oh shoot, I can make a market.
Refer.
And the siege works. Let's do the market first.
Greek.
Two.
Enito. Tayo.
Am I gonna win? I think this might be one of the quickest games I've ever played.
Ak.
Garrick.
Wow, I think I might just win here.
And wedge.
Perhaps you would allow me to leave with some dignity. Yes, no, maybe so. Yeah, why not?
You refer.
That was like one of the quickest games. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little Let's Play. Doing it with Duper, as I say. And maybe the history lesson maybe you liked. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And signing off. Have a good day. You can't see me, but I'm throwing a little salute.